Hey people of the VC, it's Andy Cloudy Mulder. Got another 80s collection update for you today. 5 or 6 albums that I've been listening to over the last couple of weeks and are ready to go out of the inbox and onto the shelves. First one I'm going to show actually is, I only got this today, and it's by a band called Shout, and the album's called In Your Face. This was actually VCLT from Metal Mickey, Mike. Thank you very much for that. I haven't done an opening video for this because I kind of wasn't expecting anything to come today. Mike had said that he found something and it was off my Music Phonations wish list, as this is Music Phonations number 92, and he knows I collect Music Phonations releases. And he actually got, I think he saw this, bought it and sent it on, so I didn't even recognise the postmark or anything, so I didn't twig that it would be the VCLT he said he was sending. So I I opened it up, and after a moment of confusion worked out where it had come from. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't do an opening video for this now, because my initial reaction when I looked at it is, okay, it's on my want list because it's Music Phonations, but it doesn't mean I'm familiar with the album. I would have said, hair metal band, probably not going to like it. But I played it, and in fact I played it twice, pretty much back to back. It's pretty good. It's more hard rock than hair metal, and it shreds as well. The first song, I mean, they've got a keyboard player, although he's not one of the 4 guys that's shown. And the first line, borderline, within seconds I was thinking, I'm not going to like this. But then it becomes a little bit sort of heavier, hard rock, and as I say, it's absolutely shreds the guitar in it. It's brilliant. And when I looked them up in my handy book of Rock Detector, A to Z of 80s rock, and it said they are I think they used the term a semi-Christian band, which I thought was a strange way of saying it. You know, either they are or they're not. And as I looked at the lyrics and the songs, I thought, yeah, actually, it is. They are a Christian metal band. So the inner has the lyrics, and but they're a Christian. To me, they're actually very listenable, as I say, because I listened through a couple of times, and I was really quite surprised. I mean, to me, this is much better than the early Striper stuff. It's not sickly sweet. I love everything. I love everyone. The songs are, I guess, better composed, more competent writing. As I say, it shreds as well. They've got one song on here. In fact, it's the title track, In Your Face, and it's got all these other guys. I don't know if you can read that on the front. Marty Friedman, Michelangelo, Lanny Cordola, Randy Hansen, and Joey Price. Now, I've only heard of Marty Friedman before, but they all play their part on it. And in fact, in the lyrics for that song, this long list here, it tells you exactly who's playing what, down to the millisecond. So Lenny Cordola plays between 1 minute 1.7 seconds and 1 minute 3.2 seconds. Marty Freeman gets the longest one, so he's obviously the big name on here. He gets a full 20.1 second slot, 2 minutes 30 seconds into the album. But this is really good. I was chuffed with it. So I think if I'd done an opening video, I probably wouldn't have been as enthusiastic as I am now, having heard it. It's a good album. So this is Music Phonations number 92. I think this is the 45th Music Phonations catalogue in my collection now. So thank you very much, Mike Metal Mickey. I'll leave a link to his channel below. So now let's get on to the other thing is, if I'd have done this as a VCLT video, only about half the viewers that will probably end up watching this will view that. I don't get many people watching the VCLT, unfortunately. So hopefully you get a bit more exposure having done it this way. Now let's get on to the 5 I'm going to show. I mean, that's still It's still an 80s album, so it's still a valid part of an 80s update. So, next up, the debut EP from Rat, 1983. Again, this is a Music for Nations. I mean, look at that. It has that early hair metal sound that, say, Motley Crue has early on. It's rough, it's raw, it rocks. But this is these are the days before hair metal really took off and the image was really in there. I mean, the hair metal hairdos hadn't really been invented yet. They actually look more like they're in drag, and the clothes as well look like they're more in drag than they're a rock band, in my opinion. And they visited their mum's hair salon rather than some swanky LA hairdressers. But I love this EP. This is awesome stuff. Pet peeve: the track order doesn't match the track listing. In fact, only the first two are swapped round for some reason. It kind of annoys me when the track listing doesn't match the record. I don't think there's an inner for this. No, just a plain white sleeve. But it's great. So this was Rat's entry. Also, it's weird. So they say all songs written arranged by Piercy, Crosby, and Rat. But I'm guessing it's really just Piercy and Crosby and not the other guys. Otherwise, they just say by Rat, surely. Sweet Cheetah and You Got It are my favourite songs on here. Not really fussed about the Walking the Dog cover though. And the old Music for Nations label. Okay, that's number one. Oh, excuse me. Which is next up, actually, it's another Rat album. It's Invasion of Your Privacy this time. So this is 2 short years later. They've already got 1 full album under their belt. So this is their second album. Now the Atlantic record company money is burning a hole in the pocket. The drag act is dropped, and they can go to a proper hair metal hair salon and really honed up their image to hit the cool look of the MTV hair metal sound of 1985. This is a UK pressing on Atlantic, as I say. It still rocks though, but it's a lot more polished than the earlier album, standard Atlantic label. I never used to get this cover. So Invasion of Your Privacy, and I assumed it was because the windows were open, somebody was looking in and her privacy was getting invaded. But then I thought, well, why is the camera here and not looking through the window that way? And clearly I overanalyzed these covers too much and missed the, in the dark at the top, the CCTV camera up there, which makes the whole picture make complete sense and makes a mockery of my cover analysis. But as for Rat, I'm late to the party with Rat, and I'm starting to think that I prefer them to Motley Crue as an overall sort of first 3 or 4 albums. I'd put Shout at the Devil above anything I've heard from Rat, I have to say, and I do love the debut from Motley Crue. But this is the same year as Theatre of Pain, and I think I prefer this one. But it's really based on my 80s knowledge of these bands only. I don't know too much about their post-80s career. But yeah, great album. Next up, it's another Music for Nations, funnily enough. This time it's the second album from Q5, When the Mirror Cracks, from 1985. This is Music for Nations number 64 on the Patrick Swayze label again. Their debut album, Still the Light, was superb. This one's a little harder to digest. It's a lot more synth heavy. The vocals certainly on the opening track, kind of reminded me of Phil Collins, which kind of threw me and made it harder for me to initially get into the album. But under the synths, there's some great guitar solos on here, and some good heavy metal hidden away under the synths. But the synthesizer aftertaste does stay with you. Stand By Me and When the Mirror Cracks, the title song, are both great songs. I do love this cover. pretty much of a guy mirroring everything he sees on TV. So he's watching 4 TVs. There's an advert. Well, there we go. Managed to push the spacebar with my elbow and pause the video. As I was saying, advert for Strokes cigarettes, Footmaster's boots, Scores beer. You'll never go home alone, and Climax watches. Meanwhile, he's watching these, and he's got his Stokes cigarettes, his Scores beer, his Footmaster's boots, and he's wearing his Climax watch as well. Oh, it's a clever cover. I like that. There's the back. Great 80s, kind of a cross between Bruce Willis and MacGyver. Old Floyd Rose there, but it's not a bad album. Not as good as their first, but still great to have that in the collection. Next up, missing one in the box. Bark at the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne, 1983 on Epic. Third studio album. It's Ozzy. To me, it's not one of my favourite albums of his. To be perfectly honest with you, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I like Bark at the Moon. I love the song Forever. Great cover. But to me, the rest is just kind of middle of the road. So tired. I'm so tired of that. But yeah, just nothing fancy. I know there's a bit of controversy on this one, that all the songs are I've forgotten the word. What's the word I'm looking for? Credited to Ozzy, but apparently Jakey Lee was forced to sign something that said that he hadn't been involved in it. And there's a song on here, Now You See It, Now You Don't, which, if you read the lyrics, apparently it's a song that Bob Daisley wrote about Sharon Osbourne, and it's none too complimentary. So I read that he was very, very surprised that it actually appeared on the album. So yeah, it's a classic album. I know lots of people love this. For me, it's kind of middle of the road Ozzy. I was very late to the Ozzy party. But as I say, a couple of good songs in it, but yeah, bit of a collection filler. Not one I'm going to play a lot. Next one, we have Warlock's first album, Burning the Witches. Now, their first album was originally released on Mausoleum, which is a Belgian label, in 1984, and it didn't really get distributed very well by all accounts. They were snapped up by Vertigo, and this was the reissue from 1987, by which time they'd already had an album or two out by then. But it's really good. This is more Warlock being heavy metal before they went more of the sort of European power metal sound of the 80s, that was in their subsequent albums. Most of the songs are fast and heavy. There is, of course, the obligatory Warlock power ballad, which is Without You, but I like a Warlock power ballad. Dora does a good job, or Dorothy Pesh, as she's credited. Didn't forget that word again on this album. Standard Vertigo label. I also think the cover looks like it could be a Magnum album as well. Great artwork. So yeah, really, really good album if you're into Warlock. Sounds slightly different because it's more straight up heavy metal than more of the classic Warlock sound that a lot of people enjoy. And the last one I have for you today. This also was something that was VCLT, but this was VCLT a long time ago, and I didn't really get around to really giving it a good listen, and I wish I had earlier. So this was originally from Greg the Egg Black Ball Rules, and it is Vendetta. Go and Live, Stay and Die. It's German thrash metal, originally released in 1987, but this is a Canadian pressing, as it came from Greg. So this is 1988 on Maze Music. I really like this. It's unusual in that the two guitarists. So you've got Dax and Mickey. Although Dax doesn't look like a typical German heavy metaler. He doesn't have the tash and he doesn't have the long hair. The other two guys have the requisite German tash and the hair. It's like one of these kids is not like the other. So Dax and Mickey, they share vocal duties, and it's kind of every other song they're swapping between them. I thought that's quite unusual. I think Dax has the better voice. Suicidal Lunacy, the opening track, has a very early suicidal tendencies vibe to it. There are plenty of influences on here of other bands, but not to the point where it sounds like rehashed or copied. So there's shades of Nuclear Assault in here, Megadeth, Metallica, System of Death, track 1, side 2 is an 8-minute monster of a thrash track. Revolution Command is also a great track. Love to get hold of their second album of this. I mean, this looked like it was a radio station copy, so it has been written on front and back, and even on the label as well. But you know, I don't care about that at all, because it doesn't affect the sound of the album, and it's a really well done German thrash metal album. No winner. So that's Vendetta. Go and live, stay and die. Right, that's all I have for you this time. Let me know what you think of these. Let me know if you disagree with any of my opinions. They're my opinions, but you're welcome to disagree and comment below, and we'll have a chat about it. Thanks for watching. Catch you again soon. Cheers.